Okay, we are recording. So tonight, me and Javen were talking, and we really kind of just wanted to cover, some basics of inviting and then some basics of stories. And I think, you might be thinking, I already know everything. I need to know about stories. I've been doing this for a while. Or, I feel like I have a pretty good idea of how to invite. If you're thinking about that, that's totally cool. I believe personally that there's always something new that I learn when somebody talks about inviting or stories and stuff like that. So I think, hopefully the tips that we share tonight, it might be some redundant things, but I also know that we have some newer coaches on here that it would probably help you a lot moving forward. So if you do have any questions as we're going through tonight, then just unmute yourself or pop it in the chat. And we really just want to help you move your business forward. And that's why we do these calls. These calls are meant to educate and help you learn some new things and apply some simple tools and stuff like that, so you can actually feel more confident moving forward with your coaching business. Okay, so inviting and stories, I believe, are like the number one tools and resources we use to actually get people to join our team. Am I right? So talking about those things and learning new things, and maybe we share something that you've never heard before, is just going to benefit everybody, right? It's going to benefit you and your business. So, okay, I wanted to start off, Javen, if you're okay with it, I'm going to share the new Success Starter rules that just came about. I didn't get a chance to go live in my team page for all you of my coaches, but we have some exciting news that just changed in Beachbody. So the title of Success Starter in the past usually meant that you sign up as a coach and you hit Success Club your first 3 months as a coach. And Success Club means you help 3 or more people invest in a challenge pack each month, right? That means you've hit Success Club. Success Starter means that you have hit 3 months as a new coach in a row in Success Club. Now, Beachbody has recently changed this to where it doesn't have to be 3 consecutive months. And this is kind of where it gets exciting. If you're a coach on here and you have signed up August 2019, August of this year or later, then you still have the opportunity to qualify for Success Club if you have already been maybe 1 month already in Success Club. Because any time within the 6-month period of you signing up as a coach, and you hit 3 months of Success Club within a 6-month period as a new coach, you can still earn the title of Success Starter. How freaking cool is that? So if you were kind of like, I signed up in September and I hit my first month in Success Club and then I haven't hit anything since, this is your opportunity to hit this month and next month in Success Club, and you can still earn that title of Success Starter, meaning you can still earn your free tickets to Summit. Does that make sense, you guys? I want to make sure that I just explain that okay. So if you signed up as a coach August of this year or later, and you've already hit maybe 1 month in Success Club, maybe you signed up in October, then you still have from October, 6 months from October to hit those 3 months in Success Club. Yeah? So it's exciting because I think I can count from a few coaches on here that are brand new that, like Caitlin, for example, she hit her month 1 Success Starter last month. I know she's going to do it this month again, but say she doesn't and she still has, 5 months to hit at least 2 of those months in Success Club to earn her title. So, and Molly, Molly hit Success Club in her first month too. So, that's a really, really cool thing because Beachbody is kind of giving you guys a little grace. I feel like there's just a little more grace as newer coaches to kind of just figure out your business, right? So there's not so much pressure like, oh my gosh, I have to hit Success Club my first 3 months. Now let me backtrack. I think it should be non-negotiable to hit Success Club right when you start out as a coach. I do think that you shouldn't like backtrack your mindset and be like, oh, well, if I don't hit it this month, it's no big deal. I still have like 4 more months to hit it. That's not what I'm talking about. Do not have that mindset because that just means you're not doing your job. And I will always tell the coaches on my team, no, like if you're not hitting Success Cloud, you're not really doing your job as a coach, right? And that's my opinion, because, you know, not that I'm a boss or over anybody on this team, because I'm totally not. But when I first started as a coach, I asked my coach, I said, okay, well, what's my job? Like, what am I supposed to do every single month? What are my goals? And she was just like, well, help 3 or more people invest in a challenge pack. That's your job. And so I just went running with that. I said, okay, that's my job. If I don't do my job, I should be fired, right? Nobody's going to get fired. But I want to encourage you to really have the mindset going forward that you are going to hit Success Club every single month. But say for some reason you don't one month, it's not the end of the world, right? It's not the end of the world. And Beachbody's giving you the opportunity to have a longer extended period of time in order to lock in that title of Success Starter. Okay, so that was some really exciting stuff that I wanted to share with you guys, and I know Javen wanted to share with you also. Another thing, and I'm not sure, Javen, if your team is doing this, but for my coaches mainly, I hope it's okay that I'm sharing this because I wanted an opportunity to share. I'm not personally doing a bar VIP test group. I am going to collaborate with Nicolette's group, and I'm just going to put all my bar babes in Nicolette's VIP test group. Javen, are you doing the same thing? Just to make sure we're all okay on the same page.
Yeah, I was not going to do my own.
I wasn't either. I feel like this is how I feel, you guys. We could always run our own thing and run our own show and put together these groups and free groups and graphics and all that stuff. But if something's already in place and if something's already been done and scheduled and organized, I feel like it takes a lot of load off of us to just plug our people into something that's already up and running, so we can then use our time more efficiently to invite, you know, improve our social media and do what we need to do to move our business forward and simply plug people into something that's already going on. So it sounds like Javen's doing the same thing. So I would encourage you, if you are inviting to bar, which I highly encourage you to do, we're going to be going into inviting on our call tonight. But just know that there's a group, there's a VIP bar test group that's up and running, and we're just going to be plugging all of our babes into the test group in Nicolette's group. I will be sharing it in our team page. Nicolette already shared a link in Upgraded Alliance if you want to check it out, but I'll be communicating with that in our team page. I'm sure, Javen, you will too. So we'll make sure that's really clear. Another thing that's coming up that, and I'm talking about this because these are things to be thinking about inviting to, since we are talking about inviting tonight on our call. Nicolette is also putting on a free group that's like a free fitness and social media influencer group. And this is also something that you can totally invite to, and it's really, really simple and easy to invite people to something that's free. And that's what I love. So if you're kind of struggling with knowing what to invite people to, or like you want to just get used to connecting with a ton of people and sending out a mass amount of invites, I encourage you to send out invites to something that's free, because first of all, it's easier to invite to something that's free. You can literally be like, oh my gosh, girl, I'm doing this free group with a bunch of my ladies from my team. It's going to be so much fun. You get access to a 7-day program and some social media tips. You want me to add you? You want some more information? That's so easy to invite to. Once they get plugged into that, they're going to see what we're all about. They're going to get a test of Beachbody on Demand, and then hopefully you're going to reach out to them again, and they're going to sign up with a challenge pack. And that's kind of how the conversation and invite flow can go when running a free group. So that's another thing that Nicolette already has up and running, and I'm just going to be inviting people to that. I've already shared a little bit on my stories. So I will also be going into my team page tomorrow and talking a little bit more about that. But those are some options of things that you guys can be inviting to. Does that make sense? Any questions about what's happening, what's going on with those things really quick? Nothing? Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure that I communicated that a little bit, and that you kind of know like what's going on and where do I put people and all that stuff. Obviously, like for, you know, obviously Javen has her fit group, her community group, and I have my own Fit Squad community bootcamp group. We're always inviting to that, right? If you have a new client signing up, they get plugged into that group, and that's okay. It's an ongoing group. You know, in 2020, I'm kind of brainstorming some ways to kind of make it more exciting and change things up. But for now, it's an ongoing group, and you just plug your people into there to make them feel really welcome, okay? All right, Javen, is there anything else you want to add before I go into inviting?
Nope, that sounds good. Mom life. Any questions right off the bat that you have about any of that? Do you all have one thing I will mention? Like, if you haven't tried the bar sample workout, I would definitely jump right into that and doing that. If you're planning on inviting before she goes into about inviting it, like our people need to see us doing that and sharing about it. And I'll kind of go into that with stories, but make sure that you try the bar workout if you haven't, because I was anti, that is not my thing. Blah. I don't dance or anything, but I'm loving it and excited about actually doing it. So definitely jump on that sample workout if you haven't yet.
Yeah, it's bomb. I love it so much. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with bar. It's so much fun. Okay, so I wanted to give just 5 basic inviting tips to you guys tonight. And then, Javen's going to go into stories and stuff like that. But the reason why I think talking about inviting is so crucial, because I think inviting is probably the number one reason people get caught up in this business. If I talk to my coaches, usually most of the time I say, what are you struggling with right now? How can I help you? What is going on? What's holding people back? I want to know. Usually people come back to me and say, nobody wants to sign up. Nobody's responding to me. I don't think I'm inviting right. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to respond. I don't know how to follow up. Like, usually those are like the top answers I get from, those on my team, right? And so I think inviting, once you kind of just put yourself out there, it becomes easier. But I'm going to give you some tips to actually start putting yourself out there. Okay. And I feel like also we just overcomplicate everything, and it doesn't have to be overcomplicated. So I hope that after me sharing some of these tips, you'll feel a lot more confident going into your inbox and inviting your entire family, your entire friends list, your entire following on Instagram, and that you're not even going to think twice about it, because you have to know that you have a gift to offer people. And you'll hear me saying that all the time, but we do have a gift to give to people, and it's the gift of health and fitness. And that sounds cheesy, but it's really not, because everybody out there is looking for a resolution in their losing weight, and they're getting stronger, and they're whatever. I just wanted to kind of cover that. But the number one tip I would say when it comes to inviting is invite people the way that you want to be invited. This is a big one for me. Whenever I go to send that message to that person that I want to invite to my next challenge group or bar or whatever, I always ask myself, like, how do I want to be talked to? I know that for me, I don't want people to come into my inbox and write me a whole paragraph explaining what they do. And then at the end, it's like, let me know if you want to join. I probably, first of all, wouldn't even read half of it, because I wouldn't care and I would lose interest. And then second of all, like, I would just feel like they want me to buy something from them. So personally, I like invites that are short. I like invites that have a lot of emojis, exclamation points. I like invites that are straight to the point. I don't want to talk to you about my kids. Really, I don't really want to talk to you about my whole life story. I don't have time to explain, what this and that and this and that. I don't want somebody to come in and have a super long conversation with me. Now, don't get me wrong. I am not telling you that you shouldn't do that. I'm just saying that's what I don't like. Maybe that works well for you in your business. Give it a go. But I also do believe that, especially Facebook, that it's been so oversaturated with people randomly messaging people and getting into people's inboxes trying to sell people something, that the immediate response to somebody coming into your inbox or vice versa is, oh my gosh, what is she trying to sell me? And so if you kind of jump into somebody's inbox saying, hey girl, thanks for the ad. Your kids are so cute. Where did you get that shirt? I mean, that's pretty cool, right? Some people love to answer questions like that. But nowadays, especially Facebook, the first probably reaction in their mind is, oh my gosh, she's trying to sell me something. Why is she talking to me? Why does she care about my kids? Why does she care about this? And so I would just say use your intuition when inviting, but invite how you would like to be invited. For me, you know, I personally invite from my stories. I invite from my posts. I invite from, you know, people that like and comment on my photos. I invite people who follow me or who friend request me. Those are the people that I invite first. And usually it's never ending. If you are expanding your network and if you're doing the things like posting every single day on your social media, if you're present in your stories, you will never run out of people to invite and connect with. You won't, because if you're showing up, they're going to show up for you. Those I would say are, you know, your warm market or lukewarm market, right? If somebody just adds you as a friend, I would say that's a lukewarm market. But if you've been friends with them for a while, I would say that's your warm market. So I always say invite from your warm market and invite the way you want to be invited. For example, an invite that I might send out would look like this. Hey, Lisa, happy Thursday. I'm not sure if you saw, but I'm enrolling for my next Fit Squad boot camp, and I was wondering if you'd want to snag a spot. Question mark, you in. Super simple, super to the point, super like, oh, she's having a Fit Squad boot camp? Like, that sounds pretty cool. I guess I'll learn some more. Or I might say, hey, Lisa, I just wanted to reach out to you to see if you wanted more info on my boot camp that I'm hosting to see if it's a good fit for you. Can I give you some more info? Like, super simple. Or a story invite might be like, oh my gosh, girl, thanks so much for hanging out with me in my stories. I love having your support. It means so much to me. Were you interested in learning more about the fitness and nutrition programs I do, or hopefully being entertained? It's totally cool either way. XOXO, star eyes. You know, so I'm connecting, but I'm also just inviting. I'm just going for the invite. So I hope that kind of helps. So when you go to invite somebody, how would you want to be talked to? First, that's number one. And I put a little note here. I think it's really crucial for us to really remember that when we are working our business, we're in the field of customer service. It's kind of like, how can I help you? Hello, thanks for being my friend. How can I help you today? You know, we want to know like what they need us. Like how can we help them? What are their problems? How can we provide the solutions for them? So the conversations that you have with people should be all about them, unless they're asking you about your specific story or experience with something. Really, really turn the conversation to them, because they're going to feel loved. They're going to feel heard. They're going to feel, you know, like you actually care about their goals and their life. So that would be a number one thing I would recommend. And always put yourself in their shoes. It's, you know, try to practice some empathy and always give them the benefit of the doubt. If, you know, they're mean, just move on, okay? Okay, number two. This kind of goes into what I was just talking about. Don't be attached to any outcome. Any outcome whatsoever, don't be attached to it. So what do I mean by that? Don't make assumptions. Don't prejudge. So if you're going into your friends list and you're like, okay, I'm going to invite all my friends. Oh, but not her, because, oh, I don't know. She might not like this. Like, I don't think this would be for her. How do you know that? You haven't invited her. You have no idea what she's going to say. So make sure you don't prejudge people. Just go for the invite. The worst they could say is no. The very worst they could do is block you. And who cares? You don't want her on your team anyway if she's just going to block you for being nice. So don't be attached to any outcome. Don't make assumptions about people. And also don't rely on people. So if you go into a month and you've sent out, 20 invites and you had like 3 people who are interested and they're like, oh, this sounds so amazing, girlfriend. I love this. Let me get back to you tomorrow. And then you had 3 people do that and you'll be like, oh my gosh, Success Club is going to be so easy this month. I already have 3 people interested. Most likely they will not sign up with you. And you cannot rely on those, yes, girl, let me get back to you. Or yes, send me the share cart. Because how many times, probably on coaches on this call, have you sent a share cart and you totally get ghosted? All the freaking time. So if you're a new coach, and that's happening to you a lot, don't be discouraged, and make sure you know that you're normal. Hello, welcome to the team. Like, everybody gets ghosted. Everybody gets, really excited because you think that somebody really wants to change their life and invest in their health and fitness. And then they're not ready. And then we're disappointed. And then it's the last day of the month and we relied on these 3 people and none of them signed up, but we didn't keep inviting. And that's where we get snagged, right? Because we rely on people and we rely on those yeses. We rely on those maybes. We rely on those, yes, send me a share carts. And then we think, oh, well, good thing I have my 3 people. I can now take a few days off of inviting. It just doesn't work like that. So make sure that you do not be attached to the outcome. You have to constantly replace people that you are relying on, right? So if you have 3 people, your first few days of the month, go find another 3 people that could be your maybes. Go find another 3 people that could replace those 3 people. Go find another 3 people. So you have a good solid backup plan. And between the 3 people then, the 3 people next, the 3 people later, and the 3 people, you got a good 12 people, right? You might hit Success Club out of those 12 people. Might. Okay, so that's why the numbers game in this business is so crucial. The more people you want to help per month, the more invites you have to send out, the more connections you have to make with people, and you cannot stop. I'm not saying spend 24/7 on your phone inviting people. I'm not saying don't unplug. I'm not saying make this your life and be obsessed about it. Jasmine, I'm just kidding. But I am saying be consistent. That's all I'm saying. Okay. And don't be afraid, you guys. Don't be afraid to invite everybody in your warm market. Okay. That's a big one. That was the hardest thing for me as a new coach. I had a relationship with a lot of people that I was like, oh, she intimidates me. Like, she was the popular girl in church. Like, I don't want to connect with her because I might look stupid, So then I wouldn't. And then maybe she signs up with another Beachbody coach that actually had the balls to invite her, then you just missed out on helping that person in your life. So that's number 2. Okay. Number 3, be consistent. I already said this. Be consistent. You have to be consistent with your business. And that means inviting. I mean, inviting is everything. Talking to people is everything. Following up is everything. Be consistent. Whatever number of invites you have set for yourself per day, you have to do it every single day. The Success Club activity tracker, I think, says 15 invites a day. I think that should be the bare minimum. I think that should be the bare minimum to hit Success Club every single month. Just Success Club. 15 invites a day to help 3 people a month. If you have bigger goals than that and you want to hit Success Club 10 plus, I would say bare minimum 20 invites a day. 25 invites a day to hit Success Club 10 plus. If you want to go above and beyond that, and your goal every single month is to hit Success Club 20, which is helping 10 people a month, I would say that your invites have to be, inviting 40 to 60 people a day. And that might sound overwhelming to you, maybe as new coaches. You don't have to do that right now, but I'm just saying you got to start 10xing your activities if you have 10x your goals for this business. You know what I mean? So I hope that kind of makes sense. So whatever your goals are for this business, make sure your actions match, the goals that you have. It's just life. Those 50 or I don't know, 20, let's just say those 20 invites that you send one day could be all no's. The 20 invites that you send the next day, all no's. The 20 invites you sent the next day, all no's, maybe one yes or maybe. And then the 20 invites you sent the next day, you might have 2 yeses, maybe, but just know that the more no's you get, the closer you are to getting a yes, the closer you are to helping that person who is ready, the more seeds you are planting for your business. So those people that you are connecting with will remember you as the coach, and then you will keep following up with them, because that's why following up is so important. And they might be your client 3 months, 6 months, year, 2 years, 3 years down the road, and you wouldn't have that person unless you actually sent that invite 3 years ago. So be consistent with your business, and, they'll be your yeses a few months from now if it's a no now. Okay. And also something that I like to think of too, I know we all signed up at different times, and like it took us different lengths of times to sign up. But think about how long it took you to say yes. You know what I mean? Like, think back when you signed up, just as a client maybe, or as a coach right away. How long, like seriously, write in the comments in the chat, tell me like how long did it take you to actually say yes? Jasmine, it took 48 hours. So she was one of those people that I invited that was a maybe, and then it was a yes, and it was really exciting. But really think about that. So when you're going to invite, you know, look for, you might be talking to yourself. Maybe it took you a whole freaking year. I don't know. So give people the benefit of the doubts. Caitlin, I know it took you 6 months. So, you know, when you're inviting now, you're going to find you 6 months from now. So really, really, really keep those things in mind, okay? Okay, number 4. I'm almost done with this, Jamin. Number 4, use your story tools to invite, okay? And this is something that Javen's going to go into already, but tip number 4 is use your stories. This is such a huge way to improve your invitations and actually reach more people, because, you know, you have the story tools like the poll option, the swipe option, the quiz option, the question option. You have all of those tools in your stories to invite people from your stories. I'll be honest with you, I do not get very many poll votes unless they're robots in my stories. I might have 0. I might have 0 swipes. I might have nobody commenting on those at all. But, and I for sure didn't when I first signed up as a coach and when stories actually first came alive in the middle of our coaching career, right, Javen? But be consistent with them, because the more people see those polls pop up and they're going to just bypass them, maybe the next time they're going to feel inclined to vote. And you're going to then get that person that actually was brave enough to push yes on your poll vote. So utilize your story tools a lot. And story tools really help engagement with your stories if people are kind of engaging on the polls and the votes. So just keep that in mind. Linktree is another great way to you know, find new leads and connect with people. If you do not have a Linktree on your Instagram, your assignment by this weekend is to get a Linktree on your Instagram, okay? And basically a Linktree is just like a website that you can have that you can put in, like, you know, application forms for your boot camp, your coaching forms. You can put information like what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually put a direct link to Energize in there, because, you know, Energize is kind of my thing and I get questions a lot about Energize. So why don't I just put a direct link to Energize in my Linktree? You know, so you can connect people. If you have like an Amazon account that you put all your favorites in Amazon, which I'm thinking about doing, I think that's a pretty cool idea, then you can put, you know, your Amazon website in your Linktree. So when people click your Linktree on your Instagram, they're going to see all these things that they could fill out. They're going to see all these things that they could have access to when they actually reach out to you and fill out these forms. And then another thing to realize is when it comes to stories and inviting in stories and all of that stuff, people have to see things like 32 times in it to realize that they actually want it. Okay, so if you are putting up an invite in your stories and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired of these slides, or I'm so tired of talking about the same thing. If you're tired of talking about it, you are doing perfect, because that's how much you should be talking about it, is when you are actually tired of talking about it. People need to see something 32 times in order for them to realize that they actually need it and they need the help and they want it. Number 5, my last tip is just go for no. And I kind of already covered this in tip number 1, but go for no. No doesn't mean no forever. No just means no, not right now. And like I said, every no you get is just that much closer to a yes that you're going to get. So just don't be afraid and don't take offense if people are like, no thanks, not right now. And also don't push people. People don't like to be pushed. If they say no, let them go and be supportive of them. Maybe send them a free workout, invite them to a free group, you know, send them a free recipe, ask how they're doing in their health and fitness every so often, and follow up with them. If you are there to support them and just be there for them, and you keep showing up in your social media and they keep watching you, they're going to know that they can reach out to you later on when they actually are ready. So I hope those tips were really helpful. If you also need really like more help specifically with wording of invites and stuff like that, we can kind of collaborate back and forth. But the biggest thing I think for me is just invite people how you want to be invited, and set a goal every single day of how many people you're going to talk to, and be consistent with it. That's all I had to say.
I love it. And one thing that you said too about the stories is try not to make every time that you do a poll option or a swap option or the question option, try not to every time that you do it, have it be, about fitness or about Beachbody related question. Okay. Because like Jenna said, you're going to want that engagement. Instagram wants to see people engaging on your post. So like, put up a poll. Do you have a fake or a real tree? Or, just think about things that are happening right now that can get some engagement on your stories. And that's just one great way to hopefully boost the amount of eyes that are on your post and things like that. So normally I like to have slides, but this is real life about how teaching is going right now. So my notes are on a Post-it note. So life is crazy. I've had 2 parents arrested this week. Like, life is great this year, y'all. So anyways, Post-it note, story, some tips, because honestly, like Jenna was just kind of joking about it, but when Jenna and I started, we didn't have stories. That was just 2.5, almost 3 years ago when we started, which is crazy, but we didn't have this option. So you newer coaches, it's great to just kind of jump in and fail your way forward with stories. I was kind of joking about it last night, looking at my post and like going back and looking at the first stories that I ever created. Like, they were awful. So I just want to encourage you that if you're not doing stories, my first tip for you is you need to start them tonight and share about this call that you're on with the business. So I also have 5 tips. Jenna, I think it's funny that we both came up with 5. But the first one, so I'm going to call the first one BTSOYD. So what it is behind the scenes of your day. So every single day, these 5 tips, I want to see something like this in your stories. So behind the scenes, what are you doing like with your kids, or what are you doing with the food that you're eating, or what are you doing in your morning routine? Somewhere throughout the day, you need to show someone what are you doing behind the scenes. And that is kind of just like an entertainment portion. So you want to entertain people with your stories as well. And that is kind of what you can do with like showing the behind the scenes and everything. So tip number 1, behind the scenes. What are you doing in your day? Tip number 2 is a recommendation. So also, we are influencers, guys. Whether you know it or not, you are influencing people every single day that are coming to your stories. They're coming to your page to see what Corey is doing or to see what Juliet is doing. Like, you are influencing people whether you realize it or not. So making recommendations about what moisturizer you really like, or what straight iron do you use, or hair dryer, like just random recommendations of, like Jenna was saying, your Amazon favorites. What are some things that, Amazon that you love right now during the Christmas season? Recommend some Christmas gifts, some Christmas ideas, some Christmas crafts that, if you're a mom, I'm not a mom yet, but like, what are some crafts that you're doing with your kids that they could also do as well? Ask for recommendations as well. That's another way to get engagement and people love giving their 2 cents and they love giving their opinion. So by asking for recommendations, you are going to get a lot of engagement on your post. And, if you're struggling with something, ask for recommendations. And, that's just a great way to start conversations and start building a relationship with that person. So tip number 1, behind the scenes. Tip number 2, recommendations. Whether, you're asking for recommendations or you're giving some recommendations for your people. Tip number 3 is giving the people what they came for. And what I mean by that is, what are we? Okay, we are online health and fitness coaches, right? So every single day you need to show people what they came for in showing fitness and business. Every single day you should be sharing about your fitness journey, and every single day you should be sharing something about the business. So for instance, today, have you posted your fitness clip, whether you made it through TikTok or you just shared your workout, whatever it was, have you shared your workout in your stories? Second, sharing the business. Tonight, you better take a boomerang when we do it at the end and share just about what this community or what this sisterhood or what this business has done for you. But every single day, and you might sound repetitive, or you might think you sound repetitive, but like Jenna said, how many times are people going to watch our weekly team calls and, finally get up the nerve to send a message and ask, what it is? Or when you send that invite, they're finally going to be ready after watching, our team calls, or watching you share about how this business has transformed you and your family's life. So show those people what they came for. And if they're coming to our page, I hope they know they're coming. Every single day in my page, they're going to see fitness, and they're going to see something about the business or the community that we're a part of. I hope that makes sense. Tip number 4, it's kind of, I feel like Jenna was saying, maybe you've heard it a lot, but speaking directly to the camera. So like an acronym for that, DTC, speaking directly to the camera. People want to see you straight up talking to the camera, unscripted, in the raw, like show up as yourself, whether, maybe you're emotional that day and maybe you even cry in your stories, or maybe you're just so excited and you're laughing and you're just having a great time. But people want to come to your stories and they want to be looking for something to relate to, in other words. So whether that's you're talking to the camera and you're sharing something inspirational, so something maybe you learned in your personal development, or something that you're learning through your devotional, something inspirational, speaking directly to the camera. Maybe it's educational. Maybe you're sharing a move or a stretch that they could do if they're having this pain or that. What is it? Is it educational about nutrition? Is it educational about our supplements? Whatever it is, educating, I can give teacher tips. And that's something that I need to do more of, is like, maybe I can even give educational tips to parents who watch my stories about what they can do with their kids at home to help with their reading ability, so on and so forth. So maybe you talk to the camera and you're educating. Or maybe you're talking to the camera and you're just straight up motivating. You're just straight up mic dropping, like, get out of your own way, stop making excuses, and let's just do it. Why are you waiting till the new year? Okay, so talking to the camera, maybe you're giving something to relate to, whether that's inspirational, educational, or motivational. I want to see something like that in your stories as well. And tip number 5, the last one that I have, and I think it's something that, even I need to work on myself, is that we need to have something in our stories to collect email addresses, okay? So I don't mean posting the question box and asking for email addresses, because a lot of the times people are not going to take the time to drop their emails in that box, but maybe it's a poll. And by clicking on that poll, you're starting a conversation by asking for an email address, okay? Maybe it's creating a freebie, and if you want this freemium that I've created, then, click on the poll and I'll get it sent to you. So by them clicking on the poll, I'm going to start a conversation with them and ask for their email address, because I am only sending that freemium, or I'm only doing whatever it says I'm doing for them through email. And I myself need to work on my email part of my job as well. So, and it must be something like, when you're asking for their email address or you're asking something like that, it really needs to be something that they need. So something, whatever your ideal client is going through, or whatever stage of life they are in, something that they need. Think about what is one thing that they need, or what is one thing that they want. How do they want to feel? How do they want recipes? Do they want, a 30-minute bar workout that they can do in their own home? What is it that they need, or what is it that they want? And that's what I'm going to share, and tell them to give me your email address, and I will share that with you. So just to repeat those 5 tips. Tip number 1 was sharing behind the scenes of your day. And you might think like, no one wants to know about this. But I promise you, how much do you spend on Instagram looking at stories just to be entertained? Okay? So entertain them, show them a part of your day. Tip number 2, recommendations. Either asking for something or giving recommendations to help someone. Tip number 3, you're giving them what they came for. If someone comes to Jenna's page, they know they're going to see TikTok, they know they're going to see fitness, and they know they're going to see business every single day. Okay? If you come to my page, first thing in the morning, you're going to see devotionals, you're going to see my workout, and then you're going to see the rest of my day. So be consistent in showing what they came for. And for us, that's fitness, business, and personal development. Tip number 4 was speaking directly to the camera. Every single day, you need to be real, raw, and straight to the camera. And it's going to be awkward at first, I promise. But it gets better and it gets easier. So whether you're speaking to the camera to inspire, to motivate, or to educate, that is what we do as Beachbody coaches. We motivate, we inspire, and we educate. So you should be talking to the camera doing those things. And tip number 5 was trying to create that email list and start getting organized with those email addresses, whether that is taking a notebook and collecting the email addresses on the notebook, or whether that is using Streak. Whatever it is, start collecting those email addresses, because it will help you 100% down the road. And the last kind of thing that I want to share with you is that stories are really hot right now, and that is how businesses are growing and booming. But stories are not going to work for you if you're not doing stories and you're not doing them consistently. Stories can 100% help grow your business and your team, but you have to do them the correct way, and you have to do them consistently. And the only way that you're going to get more confident in it and get more consistent is to keep failing at it, okay? And to keep, like Jim said, keep inviting from those people that are watching your stories. But how are you going to invite from stories if you don't have stories in your feed? Or if every single day the only stories they see are your workout stories, okay? Because people are going to be swapping right on by that, because you're not educating them, you're not motivating them, you're not inspiring them. So really just take a deep look at what are you doing consistently in your stories, and how can I make them better? And how can I invite from them? How can I collect those email addresses or get people interested from my stories? Because guys, your stories and your post are your storefront of your business. And if you are not posting and you are not doing your stories, you don't have a business. Yeah. Because how are people going to come to you? You don't have a brick and mortar business. You don't have a store, Your social media platform is your business. And if you're not showing up to it because maybe you're awkward, or you feel like, I don't know, I'm not very good at it right now, maybe I'll wait until I continue to watch someone else and get ideas from them. No, you've got to get out of your comfort zone, keep failing, and being yourself. Because the people who are watching your things and your stories and are following you, they want to hear from you and they want to know what it is that you're doing. So be consistent, show up every single day, even when it doesn't feel like you can in your stories. Because when you're open and you're real, that's what people's going to relate to. And they're going to start to build that relationship with you, whether you know it or not, because they're watching. And that's what I have.
Yeah, and I just added in the chat too. I think it's important because I think we get so caught up in, wow, I only have 500 followers. I'm not really like, oh, those 500 followers could be awesome if you're actually connected with those 500 followers. So, you know, you see all these like massive IG accounts that have like over 10K followers, and you're like, oh, she has made it. Like, she has the swipe up option, and I could never do any of this stuff. And I don't, like, once I hit 10,000 followers, I will be superstar Instagram person. Like, no, you know, so I think it's important to know, like, it doesn't matter how many followers you have on Instagram or how many friends you have on Facebook. What matters is how connected you are to the friends and followers you do have. They're following you for some reason. So how are you providing value to them? Like Javen said, like, how are you recommending things? How are you putting yourself out there as a relatable person to them? You know, I do want to shout out, like what Javen was saying too, with getting like engagement in your stories, maybe not health and fitness related. I love what Candace did, and I talked to her about this a little bit, but this is a really great and simple way to get engagement on your Instagram and take people through your life. People want to watch the reality show of each one of you guys, right? So they want you to take them on your life journey. So Candace the other day posted that she's going to her husband's Christmas party, and she's like, I have these two dresses and I don't know which one I should wear. What do you guys think? She asked her followers, and then she's like, A or B, you know, give me your opinions. And so she put that up on her page, and she got so much engagement in her Instagram. And yes, she did look amazing, Jen. But that's just a way for your followers to feel like you actually care about them, because you're asking for their opinion. And you're not just throwing fitness at them or saying, join my group, why haven't you joined yet? And putting all these motivational and empowering and inspirational stuff on your page. That's great. But there has to be a balance between that and actually caring about listening to your followers and what they need and what they want and how they want to engage with you. And then, you know, what Candace did is she, you know, chose the dress that got the most popular answer, and then she posted a picture of it with her and her husband in the post the next day or whatever. And so then people be like, oh, good, she picked that dress. That's the one I picked, you know, and then it's just a more like connection with her followers. And I think that was just a good example of how you can do that and still be an influencer and also increasing engagement and connection with the followers that you do have. So whether it's a fancy dress or whether it's just like, I don't know, something else, like today I said, oh my gosh, I'm getting my hair done. I'm looking between this style and this style. And I put it in my stories and I put, okay, A or B. I got so much engagement because people just want to give their opinion. I already knew what I was going to pick, honestly, and the hairstyles looked almost exactly the same. But people like to vote on an opinion, and it really was just helpful to get engagement in my stories. And yes, I did care about their opinion, but that was just a simple way to get people to vote on my poll and make sure they're still watching me and caring, I guess. But just be creative, I guess, is what I was trying to say. Do you guys have any questions? Anything that you want to add, maybe that you've learned that's worked really well for you?
I did get a few emails in my story about Bar Blend, so that was good.
Awesome.
And I sent this free sample to like 4 or 5 different people just yesterday. So in a couple days, I'll reach out and see how they liked it.
Yeah, that's perfect. Utilizing the free sample workouts, I think, are game changers. Like, I just did one day this week, and I literally just invited to to give people the free sample. I wasn't even inviting them to my VIP test group. I was like, I'm obsessed with this new bar program. Do you want me to send you a free sample so you can see what it's like? And maybe we could do it together. That's how I was sending. And then everybody was like, yes, yes, yes. If it's free, yes. You know,
free sample. Yep, exactly.
Yeah, nobody's going to say no to free.
Yeah.
You know, but then it gives you all those leads to follow up with.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so awesome. And, you know, another thing that I've been doing with as far as expanding my network, especially on IG, is really searching like bar studios and hashtag bar fitness or whatever. And it's allowed me to really connect with people who already love bar, because you guys, bar is so trendy. I mean, you buy those little like Groupons or like those payback books. There's so many bar coupons in those things and bar Groupons. Like everybody's looking for a discounted bar class because they're so expensive. And so I think that's also another, just something to think about when it comes to, you know, promoting that. That's awesome, Gina. I love that. By the way, Gina's on her 6th week of the work, right? Like you have literally 2 days left.
I have, tomorrow. And you're on the same day too, right? So the Crucible is gonna be the death of me.
Yeah. Kudos. Kudos to you guys. I wish I was there with you. Oh gosh. Anything else, you guys? Anything not related to what we're talking about that you have a question about? No? All right. Well, I guess that's a wrap. I hope this was helpful. You guys, I hope this was helpful. Some of it might have been repetitive, like I said, but you know, this business isn't really like complicated. It's just something you gotta do and do consistently. Be social on social media. It's really, really fun. Make it fun. Jasmine, yes.
So my computer screen, because I live out in the middle of nowhere, is frozen, so I can't take a boomerang right now. So will you guys tag me in your boomerang, please?
Yes. I'll take a boomerang too, and I'll send it in our thread just so everybody has it.
Am I moving or am I stuck too?
You are moving.
Oh, okay, cool.
Stuck with me, baby.
How's my face look? Stuck.
What?
How's my face look? Stuck in that position.
I can't see you. I can't see anybody. Yeah, it's all black. I can see myself, but that's it.
Oh, usually it's frozen in like a weird face. All right, you guys, let's take a boomerang and we'll let you guys go. Again, I just appreciate you guys being on this call. You know, it just means a lot. Okay, here we go.
Hold on.
Hold on. It's like I've never done a boomerang before. Hold on, guys. Oh, there we go. All right, you ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Yes. All right, ladies. Thank you. We love you so much. And if you need anything, you reach out. We're here to help you.
Yes.
All right, bye, guys.
Good night, y'all.
See ya.